On a real estate agent, home locator. Just on today, and if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them down into the comments section, okay? Going to see who has any questions about being a first-time home buyer, or if you're planning a relocation to Arizona. Maybe you have a home to sell in your prior city, uh, you know, or you're deciding you just want to start over. I have some people that, as a first-time home buyer, they don't know this, but check with the loan officer, the lender. And I have some amazing lenders that I'm partnered with, but maybe you have your own. But if your home is being leased that you already own, then you could possibly be able to use that as income toward, your home in Arizona. Okay, so that's just something to consider there, as well as your offer letter if you're planning to come to Arizona and you don't have a job, but you have a job offer letter. Okay, so a couple things to keep in mind there. And I just want to go ahead and jump right into the pros and cons of renting versus buying. Okay, so essentially, a lot of renters that I have helped, they find themselves moving every year or two. You know, why that is because a lot of times when you're renting, you decide, hey, I'm not getting along with the landlord or whatever the case is. I don't like the neighborhood, the people that are moving in and out, this transient, or, you're just not able to do the things that you thought you could do. Some landlords are very particular about the things that they are allowing and disallowing on their property. Some say no smoking inside the home. Some say no smoking on the property. Yes, on the property. So that could be tough, So if you're say you're in an apartment, or even if you're in a house and you're not able to smoke and you're a smoker, or if you're a person that does the other stuff, the MJ, and maybe you need it for pain or whatever, you have a medical card for it, sometimes there's no exceptions for that. No smoking is no smoking. So home ownership does have its perks, let me tell you, okay? The reason why I'm doing this video again is because I get people that are qualified to buy, but they're afraid. They don't realize that they qualify to buy, because sometimes the process they put you through to rent, they want references, they check out your previous landlord, they have you get your tax returns together, they have you getting your paycheck stubs for the past how many months. There's lots of money you put down, could be up to a month and a half of the rent in Arizona. You're allowed for that, as well as other administrative fees that they make up, sometimes. Okay, so not necessarily that they make up, they're official fees, but they're written into the lease or whatever. So it's just, I've had people bring $100 to closing. I've actually had people get money back at closing when they're buying their home. So sometimes you just want to take the plunge and see if you qualify, because there's no way that you would know if you don't attempt, So if you don't apply, you just don't know. So if anyone has any questions, I'm trying to watch the chat here to see if anybody's got any questions. So I'm a realtor in Arizona. Hi. Okay. Thank you so much. Hi. Nice to meet you, Beto. Okay. So I'm in Arizona. Okay. So here are the basic. I'm gonna run down the list of the pros and cons. Let's see. I don't know what this person is. All right. Okay. So renting. Okay. If you're renting, you may be a person that is looking to move. Okay. You may be building up your credit. A lot of renters are afraid of the home buying process, and they don't know if their credit's good enough, but you don't need great credit to buy a house. You really don't. And then sometimes when you decide you want to get pre-qualified to buy, the lender can tell you what you need to do to bring your score up. So it'll be up in a month or two. Sometimes You're just right there. Sometimes you're very close to it and you don't know it until you actually apply. Okay. You just don't know. Okay. Um, a lot of renters are saving money. So if you're renting somewhere, you're getting a really good deal. I mean, a surefire deal to where you're able to save money. Okay. Um, maybe it's for you to stay as a renter long term, um and then a lot of times with the renting, you don't have to deal with any maintenance issues. You could pick up the phone and call maintenance and be like, hey, I have this water pipe is loose or whatever, and I don't know, water just starts spewing out of it and I don't know what's going on with it. I don't want to touch it, or I touched it and it got worse, or whatever the case is. um yeah, you can make a phone call for that, as a renter. Okay. Now, as a homeowner, you're going to be calling your maintenance guy out and you're going to be footing the bill. It's not going to be included in your rent. Okay. Although I have had people that rent that tell me that they're responsible for repairs. And that always shocks me because I'm like, what is the incentive in, renting you know, if you have to pay for everything out your pocket, Um, yeah, so a lot of renters just aren't sure where they're going to be. The stability is just not there. So that is the reason why they choose to rent. As a homeowner, you can have the ability to decorate your space the way you want it. In most cases, paint your inner walls the way you want. Now, as far as outside, painting your door and your garage and everything, sometimes if you have an HOA, they can dictate what shade of brown or whatever, what shade you're painting your doors outside. But generally, with the inside of your home, you're able to do things. You're able to mount up, sometimes when you're renting, you can't mount up pictures, you can't mount up TVs and things like that without being charged an astronomical fee or risk not getting your deposit back. That's just not something that they always allow when you're renting. Okay. If you want to start building equity and use your um, house as a bank, you can do that as a homeowner. You will be able to pull the equity and then get with your tax person and be able to claim the interest on those payments, on that. Okay. Um, so again, if you're looking to buy and your finances are, if you're looking to rent and your finances are stable, say you've been on your job, your business is stable, you have income, if you're in a situation where those things are looking good in your favor, don't be afraid to apply to get approved, because it's possible that you may qualify to be a homeowner. Okay. So if anybody has any questions about the process, if you would like to send me your information so we can see about connecting you with a lender to start the process, I would absolutely love that as well. Um, but yeah, if there are no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Thank you so much. We had a few bots on tonight. I don't know. When I go live, they just pop out of nowhere. And yeah, so they just, I don't know. So I don't have a moderator right now, I guess. But one day I may, hopefully, we'll be able to have a moderator. But I don't have a lot of, but anyway, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much if you stuck around to the end. Getting comfortable more and more day by day with doing the lives. I'm not really good at the lives because I always feel like I'm nervous because I'm not talking to anybody, but I'm talking to you guys. You're watching me. So if you don't know anyone, if you yourself are not looking, if you know someone who's looking, maybe you don't know somebody now, but if in the future, send them my info, or yeah, send me their info. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a blessed day.